And today we have Masha here that came actually through a very nice process that I would love to see more parents coming. I mean, she came to GSPA and said, like, I want to do a talk on conscious parenting. Lizzie came to me, I was like, yes, sign me up, let's make it. And I love her first line, is that she said in her description is, if your negative thoughts get hold of you and you lose your mind with your kids, this workshop is for you. So I was like, maybe I definitely should attend this one, because definitely I can identify myself there. So I'm actually really happy to hear you and see if you can help us how to deal with this. yeah. I mean, I'm gonna bring two of those at home too, because I have 2 kids. Thanks, Masha, for coming here today, and yeah.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. So today, my talk is all about consciousness. How to consciously parent our children. But before we can do that, I think it's very important for us to truly understand what consciousness means. What is consciously parenting our children? So, let me introduce, before I go into that, let me introduce myself. So my name is Masha Cheriakova. I came here from the Netherlands. I was born a long time ago in a country called Belarus. Then I moved to the Netherlands as a refugee, actually. And I'm a mom of 2 beautiful children, one in Starling and one in Kindy. And I'm also a life coach. I'm a life coach, and my specialization is in parts work, process work, which means basically somatic work, breath work. And I'm a mindfulness coach and a writer. So I wrote a lot of books for mainly the Eastern European market. And they became bestsellers, and I decided to combine these 2, my coaching and my writing, and I started to write a new book on consciousness, on what it is like to be aware of things, of thoughts, of emotions, of what it is like to be human, and who are we versus who are we not. And I find that, first of all, we need to find out, because a lot of us are searching for who am I? Right? That's the question. But I would like to actually go the other way and find out who am I not. And I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my feelings, because I'm the one who can observe and be there for my thoughts and my feelings. But we just didn't learn how to do that yet. Many of us don't know yet how to do that. And instead of being overwhelmed by emotions and thoughts, and with our kids as parents, we do that a lot. They trigger the hell out of us. Yes, they do. And we get overwhelmed because we have hurt inside. And I would like to talk about that with you. I would like to take you on to this journey. So consciousness for me is also standing here, looking at all of you, connecting with you. It's feeling my nervousness a little bit, being okay with that. Yeah, I feel it in my throat a bit, in my hands. But I'm not my nervousness. I'm the one who can be there for my nervousness. Acknowledge that it's there. So let's dive in. So can you all see this and read it? Yeah? Take your time to read this. So if you're ready, just raise your hand. Yeah? Okay. So this is us thinking. This is us walking down and thinking, analyzing, because that's what our brain does. We analyze, we think and overthink a lot of things. With our children, with whatever it is, with our spouses, with our family members, with trees, with insects. We constantly are in a process of thinking and feeling. We became addicted to that. And it's okay, it's part of who we are. I'm going to walk you through why that is the way it is and what can we do differently. But can you go to the next slide? So we go, as I said, like from one thought to the other, racing from one emotion to the other. Keep going through that. And then next slide. But I want to show you that you all are God and goddesses who can observe your thoughts and emotions. So before we will go deeper into that, let's just close our eyes and do a little experiment. So close your eyes and just breathe. Just observe your natural breathing. Going in through your nose or your mouth. You inhale, inflate, and you exhale through your nose or mouth. And just follow that. Follow your natural breath. Don't try to change anything. It's just the way it is. And while you're following your breath, just notice, become aware of any thoughts that come in. And if there's a thought that comes in, just be aware of that. Put it on a cloud and say bye. And go back to breathing. Follow your breath in and out until you meet a thought. Then you put it again on a cloud and go back into your breathing. Okay. You can slowly open your eyes. And who of you met a thought? Yeah. You're meeting them, right? You could meet them. You could actually just, hi thought, put it on a cloud and see it pass by. Who of you didn't meet a thought? Well done. Yeah. Okay, next slide. So, I want to take you on a journey. So, this is a beautiful family pictures. And it's a happy baby. And it's a happy child. And you know a child is presence. A child is not yet, until the age of around 3, is just here in the now. Being amazed by a crumb. Being amazed by dirt. Just living this life in the very present moment. Not occupied by worries, fears, shames, guilt. It's just an innocent child living in the present moment. But behind every picture, behind every person, there will be wounding. There will be hurt happening to each and one of us. Some of them we still can remember, but most of them we can't. We don't remember our wounding anymore. And that wounding is deep down inside of us. It's living still inside of our cells, inside of our bodies. So we slowly unlearn what it is like to be present. Next slide, please. And this is an example of the wounding, the hurt that a child could have got. Like going, I don't know if you if this picture makes sense, but this is a child going out of the womb. Is that pleasant, you think, for a child? Probably not really. Could it develop some sort of wounding? Could have. My child, for example, had an umbilical cord around his neck, and every time I had a contraction, it couldn't breathe for 14 hours. That could have caused serious traumas. Does he remember any of that? Obviously not. Does he know the effect it did to him? Probably not. But he still has that wounding inside of him. Next slide, please. And the same goes for a child that just wants to eat. It's hungry. But we as parents cannot always feed the child whenever the child wants and needs. We used to apply this pause. It's a French method. We read a really cool book, we thought back then it will save our lives from deprivation of sleep. And let's pause. Let's not run towards the child when it's hungry. But looking back right now, of course I would have run because it was hungry. And it could have developed a wounding, a hurt that we don't know about. Next slide, please. So another few examples is bad girl, we don't bite. Well, this girl just figured out how it is to defend herself by biting. Yeah, but it was her defense mechanism and she was called bad for that. Stop throwing food on the floor while a child just wants to experiment. No, that's dangerous. How often do we say that to children? No, it's dangerous, don't do that. But that child will start to think, but what if I just want to do that and experiment and I know really what I want, but I cannot communicate that? And the child starts to unlearn what it's like to really follow his or her own body. So we all have hurts. We all carry deep down hurts. And that's okay. That's human. That's why we are here. We live in a sort of a traumatized world. With traumatized parents in a way, and traumatized society and teachers and educators and friends and family members. And that hurt is still unresolved. And until we start resolving that hurt, can we really start to really heal and be here in the present moment. So the cool thing that happened next is that we don't want to feel hurt. Who of us wants to walk around and feel helpless all the time? No one, right? So what we developed are, I call them protector parts. These protector parts are protecting the hell out of us to not feel hurt. So we don't go into feeling lonely, ashamed, helpless. So each and one of us just develop their own protectors. And yeah, we carry them around us in our mind. They're our thinkers. So they can come in, and whenever we feel, I will show it with quite a lot of examples. They come in the moment we feel helpless somehow, and they say, eat that from the fridge. It's good. It's going to make you really feel better. Become angry. That was mine. I became quite easily angry. Or worry, please other people. Jealousy. Whatever it is, you can find many of those. This is not a complete list whatsoever. So we carry protectors around. Next slide, please. So I'm going to walk you through this one that shows how our hurts and protector parts kind of are playing in the same team. So protector parts don't want us to feel hurt, right? So this is an example of a little boy, and he just learned that he will soon become a big brother. And he's super excited, but 8 months later he discovers that, wait, actually it's not that much fun. Mom has a new baby. don't have that much attention. Nah, it's not that much fun. I cannot even hold it upside down. What is that for, baby? Right? Like, so that child experienced hurt. And feeling hurt and alone, and maybe even unwanted at that very moment. So it developed protector parts. And it depends on the child what kind of protector parts it developed. So it could be acting hostile. Let's hit that baby, I will get my attention. Or it will cling. It will cling on mom or dad and just like put the cling on the underwear and like make the mom feel highly uncomfortable, but he will get or she will get the attention. Or taking control. I'm gonna run away and mom will come after me. Next slide, please. Another example is kids are so mean, I call this one, and it's like your toy was stolen at daycare. That created a hurt. Hey, what's happening here? I don't like that. Someone stole my toy. And it could create a bully protector. I will take control and I will steal someone else's toy. But we label that as bully. Or a hideaway protector. I will sit down quietly in a corner and not bother anyone and keep my toys for myself. And that plays out in life still later on. So next one, and this is the third example, and that's like, come and kiss Auntie Shelly goodbye. And Shelly, like, you don't even know Shelly that well. You don't want to kiss Auntie Shelly goodbye, but you're forced to because that's polite. To hug, to kiss, to say bye, to say hi, because that's our rules. That people's rules. We're still following and forcing that on our kids, even though they might feel highly uncomfortable with it. We don't listen because we are still following these rules. It's polite. Auntie Shelly will have maybe a nightmare from that. But our kids, let's force them to kiss Auntie Shelly goodbye. So we kiss Auntie Shelly goodbye and the hurt comes and it says, I guess what I want doesn't matter. And 13 years later, a pleaser protector not arrived. It was already protecting 12 years ago. And well, you see what could happen in the last one. Shall we? The boy says. With his underwear, like, it seems like not all of you understand it. I thought it was really funny. And it says, the pleaser says yes. Yeah. So, next slide, please. So, we all carry around a bunch of protector parts, actually between 20 and 50 on average. Imagine 20 or 50 different thoughts for different people, different situations that come in and protect us. And if you look at these, can you see them well? Do you recognize maybe a couple of them that you're following? When it is a situation that you might feel a little bit uncomfortable with, shitty about. Guilty, shamer, defender, anger, joker, tired, gossiper, hider. This is all not us. That's the good news. This is all not us. We just created them in our heads, and these are our thoughts that we have created in our heads. Can you go to next? So there we go, walking around with our baskets of our protectors, believing it's us. As today we are grown-ups, and we still carry these protector parts with us. Just from our very young age, we still do the same things as we did to survive our childhood, because back then we didn't know how to do that. So it was very logical for us to develop these protector parts. But today we still walk around with them, believing it's us. And it doesn't work. They don't serve us. They actually cause quite a lot of pain. Again and again, and they bring us to the same, it's just a cycle. It's just a cycle. So let me just, next slide please. So who are we? We are presence, as I told and shared before. We are the god and the goddesses sitting up there, and we can observe our thoughts, our emotions. We can be there for our thoughts and emotions without judging, because presence, if we are truly in presence, you know these moments when you feel like this unbelievable strength and courage and love and connection. That's us. We are presence. We have this inner strength that is not connected too much into like thinking. It's here. So another good news is we are presence. We don't need to learn to become presence. It's in us. And I would like to walk you through now a bit more like examples of my own crazy. For a couple of years, I've been observing my thoughts. And I've been drawing them out in a comic form. And I want to share a couple of them with you. I have like a whole book almost ready to hopefully being published soon. But I would like to share with you 3 of them today. They're not too long. So this one is called I'm a Bad, Bad Mother. So I don't know how, well, I will walk you through it, okay? So after a busy day trying to calm myself down with a movie and wine, suddenly I catch myself thinking, I'm such a bad mother. I can't do anything right. You know, there's these thoughts, there's like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm a bad mother. And I become aware of that thought. Wait, I've learned something here. This is not me. This is not me. So I take 3 deep breaths and I connect to my protector. That is called guilty. And there he is on my wine glass, sitting there. And I say hi. Hi to guilty. And he says, back. And I asked this protector, this is the parts work that I was talking about. There's a dialogue that can happen with your protector in which the protector will tell you, share with you what it is that he or she or it protects. So it literally told me, I connect you to your kids and make you a good mother by guilting you. So I will wake up. He tries to wake me up all the time by guilting me. And I say thank you because I'm in my presence. I can see this is not me. This is just a very young me in a way, a thought. And I thank it for its protection, for what it does. And then I ask another question, which I always ask. What are you afraid of that will happen to me if you don't do your job, if you don't guilty me? And it says that they will end up hating you like you hated your mom. And you will end up all alone. So it brings back to that hurt of feeling alone that I experienced. Do I really remember feeling alone? Maybe sometimes, but not really. But that guilt part is telling me that. And I thank it. I thank it for protecting me because I'm in my presence, and from presence I can do that. And it melts into my wine glass. And suddenly I feel a deep sadness arising. A deep, deep sadness, and I feel it in my chest and in my eyes. I have to cry because I connect to the hurt, to feeling alone. And I cry, and I let myself cry because I connect to that hurt. Next slide. And this one was actually in the quarantine in Jakarta. It was a really interesting time. And so I did quite a lot of parts work already. I thought I got it figured out. And this one is like I still didn't figure this out yet. But this example was so beautiful to me that I had to draw a comic. So I rocked it. And it was like my son was screaming like a maniac in a little hotel room in Jakarta. And it drove me nuts. And I thought I'm going to kill myself and him. And I don't know what to do. And I connected. I took 3 deep breaths. I was like, ha, I got this. This is not me. This is my protector. And I connected to the protector. And it was the frustrated protector. I was frustrated by this sound. And noise and me not able to control. I couldn't control this little creature that was just shouting like a maniac. So once I stepped back and disidentified myself from believing that it's me who is frustrated, but it's not me. I'm the presence that could be with that frustration, and I thanked it. I thanked it again, and then suddenly I felt this presence and I could really come up with an idea. It just came from here. And I was like, what if I record songs with him, rock music on my phone, to use his sound, not as something that really hurts my ears and head and everything, but just let's make music together where his voice will be useful and his loudness will be useful. So we just recorded a really cool song where he could scream and I could scream, and we screamed together, woke everyone up. It doesn't matter, but it was fun. And that was me. I really felt proud because I could so easily take that frustration away from myself, being disidentified with it. And I could share that with him. I love making music with you. Let's do that again when you feel like you need to express your loudness. It can be here. Next slide, please. And then my hairy monkey, and that's an example just like being women, I guess. It's not much to do with parenting, even though I think every example has something to do with parenting, because if I am comfortable with my hairy monkey, which means hair, I can pass that on to my daughter, right? I can tell her, you see, we all have hair. It's us. It's being human. So there I was sitting with my friends, having a drink. And before, I have this challenge that I don't shave my legs. Yeah, I said to myself, I'm going to experiment with this. And now I see everyone looking at my legs. It's okay. It's okay, guys. But back then, when, we were sitting there and like, it's all like really obvious, the sun is on it, and I became uncomfortable. So I felt myself doing this a bit, like turning around, like feeling like a slightly uncomfort, right? And I was like, no, why didn't I shave? Why? Why do I do these things to me? Why do I have to experiment with all these crazy things to make me look like a hairy monkey? And then I identified with my shame protector. Again, it was my shame. It wasn't me. And there it was. Hi, you. It's told me. And I asked, it's like, how are you feeling? And he said, not too well since you decided to go all natural here, exposing yourself like that. Shame on you. And I'm like, okay, wow, I can see that you're upset with my decision. I feel you. I really, again, the moment I disidentified myself, I could step back and just say, hey, you, I feel for you. Feeling compassion and connection. And isn't that self-love? Eventually, isn't that the purest form of self-love, to accept oneself and all our parts as just parts? And then I asked him, what are you afraid of that will happen to me if everyone will see my hair? And well, it's clearly said this, and next slide, please. And this, it showed me that it's afraid that that people will feel disgusted by my hair and start running off. They will be like, ugh, yuck. That's really like no one wants to be around. Run, she's a freak. And I thanked it because it's his story. It's not my story. It's his story. And the moment I could get away from that, I could just be presence again. Because the moment we connect to our parts, our protected parts, they melt. They truly melt. Because just like children, they want to be seen, heard, and understood and appreciated for who they are and for their job they're doing. So there I could enjoy my hairy legs and just like be like this and share my experiments. Why not? Right? Maybe I could. And it's not about that I want to tell that you need to shave. It's more experimenting with what is happening in your mind. Just becoming aware. Just becoming conscious. And that we could give to our kids. So next slide, please. So I would like to ask you to, like a little experiment. I have some papers that are, I think, on that table. Yes. So if everyone could grab one. Okay, so what I want you to write down on one side of this paper is yeah, there's one lady there. Yeah. Okay. So write down an example that gets you like an emotion, a negative emotion. So I get la 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 la, angry, frustrated, whatever, disappointed when my child does la la la. If you don't have children, then write down when my colleague does blah 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 or whatever. So something that triggers the hell out of you, basically. Write that down. So for me, it would be when my child hits my daughter, I become really angry. Would be great. Yeah? Do you? Yeah?
Yeah, I get really frustrated with my daughter and also my husband because both of them do that. They go and get my things with no permission and just throw around and destroy them, pretty much.
Yeah, perfect. Anyone else who feels the need to share?
There's another mic.
Oh yeah, probably everyone has a similar thing. So I just said I get angry when my daughter doesn't do what we ask her, which is a very broad, very broad, very broad church.
I can relate to that.
Thank you. I get frustrated when my youngest son doesn't come to the dinner table with everyone else at the same time.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
Good example. Perfect. Okay. So what I would like you to do is draw your frustration. Draw it as a little something that you feel. So draw that whatever comes up, like close your eyes, maybe if it doesn't come naturally to you, close your eyes and feel that frustration or anger or whatever emotion you just wrote down. Feel where you feel it. Is it in your throat, your chest? And just imagine how it could look like. It could also be just a color. But just... Done? I'm very curious now. See. Let me know if you're not ready yet. Is everyone ready? Okay. So what I would like to do is a little glimpse exercise before we go into the third one. So just close your eyes for 1 sec. But take an alert pose. So we're not going to sleep here. We're going to just become aware, become conscious. And just feel your body sitting on this chair. Feel the butt touching the chair, the legs on the floor, and just your entire body sitting here, being present for yourself. Hearing the bell, not making up stories, just listening to sounds. Being here in this very moment, the only moment there is, right here. And just take one deep breath. In and out. And just now feel the space around you. Feel the space around your body. Feel the space in front of you, on the right side of you, behind you, left of you, and just everywhere. Just become aware of the space in this room where your body is sitting. And take a deep breath in with a sigh out. And one more breath. And right now what I would like to ask you is to slowly open your eyes and just think back about what triggers you, what you just wrote down, about the frustration, maybe anger, whoever wrote that down, or sadness, disappointment. And think, how would you as presence react on this same situation? How could you react from connecting truly to your child? Not from thinking something that he or she is supposed to do, but feeling that deep connection, that love for your child. Because that's what presence would be like. So how would you react from presence towards this same situation that you just wrote down? Don't sleep.
I'm not sleeping. Just my first reaction was I'm gonna lock everything in the cupboard.
Well, maybe that is boundaries. That's it. That really, I could go into a lot of details, but it is coming from the inner presence. Clear boundaries that you mean so well, and that once you really articulate those in a loving and kind way, they will maybe start respecting that more. But, I'm not going to go into details, but I would like to, if anyone wants to share an example or what you came up with.
Well, I know my son eventually will come to the dinner table.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just sing in my head, let it go. And just to, wash it off.
Yeah.
And then I will turn to my husband.
Yeah.
And I will just wait. Because I know it will come.
He will come.
But not
Yeah.
when I want him to come.
Yeah. So I hear trust that he will come.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. Just timings are not always. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be
They
those.
always come. It's us. It's in our heads. We want to. Well, I'm again not gonna go too much into details, but it's all our own story. We've been. It's in our, like the traditions we learned. Everything that we learn and that we want them to also feel and experiment with and just be at our dinner table.
So how would you navigate that, for example?
Yeah. Well, we have the same situation.
How do you navigate like what?
I give him two options. You can eat either there by yourself, because I truly, once I connected to him, I understood why he found it too loud to eat with us on the same table. He found it too much. So I told him, you either eat there very quietly by yourself or you eat here with us. I empowered him by giving an option. Does it? I fully empowered him.
Can you just stop here so people
The thi-
I'm just
yeah. No, but it's a really good question. Yeah.
How far can you go with this? I
So-
mean, I get the same things. I had 5 kids, and I'm still struggling on the 5th. So
You know what it is? It comes from trust. Because if I cannot trust him for him to join my table and always let him struggle with him and mouth fight with him, that won't work. That strategy just doesn't work. Of course,
No,
it
no,
will
of
work with fear. Like, you come here, otherwise you don't get a dessert. That's the thing we also tried. But I feel from presence, if you're really there and you see your child and you say, the moment you feel like you got it and that you want to join our dinner table, you will be more than welcome. I would love to have you here. But saying that from connection, from love. And that moment will come. We have to trust that he or she will do the right thing, and the right thing for him or her.
but the right thing might be that at 7 or 8, he or she is still sitting over there whilst you are eating here.
Yeah, and what is the problem then?
I don't know. Tell me what the problem would
Yeah,
be.
there's nothing. That's
No.
what I try to say, is that the problem we create here in our minds, because we think that they should like totally follow our rules. And there are certain rules that they have to follow for sure. I'm not saying that, but we can say that in a really nice and calm way. And the more we trust ourselves that this is the right thing and it comes from love and connection, they will, trust me, follow you. And I truly believe that. I've seen it over and over again.
Yeah, okay.
So it's that acting from presence, from you here, sitting here, and just being here, not in your thoughts, not in fears, worries, what will happen, but just say, hey, I see you going away. Yeah. So I will continue 2 more slides, because now comes the interesting thing. So first tip for you all is just become aware. I just actually gave that example. Just become aware of your triggers, of your parts, of your belief systems that you have. And just think maybe like, what if I can breathe and just see them as a part of me, but not totally me? I'm the one who can see them. I'm the God and the goddess that can see our thoughts and emotions. Next one, please. The second slide is tape your mouth. The next tip. I did that. It works wonders, especially in the morning rush. How much do we tell our kids to do in the morning? Truly, we just overwhelm them with, go and eat this and this and that and this and that, and you need to get your bag and blah, 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 and you end up doing half of it yourself because you want them to be on time. And I was so sick and tired of doing that, of repeating that same thing. So I taped my mouth. It was incredible. What happened? What happened was my children just got like, well, they already think I'm insane, but I taped my mouth and I communicated with my eyes. And I put a timer on. I have a wonderful timer for little children, big children as well. It's called Mouse Timer. And it just, you say, press 10 minutes and it shows mouses and it eats cheese away. And it's super cool. And it gives like, I put a timer. This is when we leave the house. You have to be ready. I don't have to say a word. I can just become aware of my own struggle, because oh boy, did I have an inner struggle. I wanted to shout and scream, and like I saw them like eating really slowly, and you know, like all of that. But day 2, 3, they were so on time, and I empowered them to do that because I wasn't on them all the time. And I have tape for people that want. I'll throw one at you. Yeah.
Where do you find
It's just for free download. Yeah, on your phone. Anyone else? You're gonna get one as well. And last slide. And the last tip is do parts work out loud. So when you experience anger, frustration, just talk out loud. Say, a part of me feels very frustrated right now. And then you already disidentify with yourself, with that part. And your child will be like, okay, mom, dad has a part, okay. But sooner or later they will learn that it's not the parent. It's not only anger, like I'm not only anger. It's a part of me that just took over. And it will basically learn by your example to basically just take, like, to accept that parents have feelings that they also didn't figure out, but that they are trying. So do parts work out loud. A part of me feels angry. I'm going to be there for my part. Hi, part. Welcome. Hello. Lovely that you're here, but maybe I don't need you right now. And just watch your children be amazed by this, because it's really like funny to see them like, what are you doing? Like really thinking you're nuts. But it's also cool because you're working on yourself, right? Did you have a question?
What I came up with a couple of months ago, because you feel, if you get frustrated, you feel,
Yeah.
and it's like, I'm also from the Netherlands, so emotie raakt vol. So,
Yeah.
so, and with my 7-year-old daughter, she understands, she says, why are you angry? And I go like, well, there are other stress factors, which already put me at a certain level.
Yeah.
So my bucket is like here,
Yeah.
and then you can't help that you don't know that, but because of the stress that I have to get you on time to school, the water rises, and then if the water overflows,
Yeah.
you will notice.
Yeah.
And then she started asking, oh, Dad, if I do this, is your bucket getting fuller or, or more empty? So
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. Exactly. Just showing that we have and how we deal with that, because that empowers them to just be also like come up with really great solutions, because they want to help us so badly. They don't want our buckets to overflow. No, they want to help us. So my last thing is, you are not your thoughts and emotions. You're the one who can hear them. You just have to remember that your presence, and presence is already inside of you. The end. Yeah. Sorry, it was a bit longer than I.
Yeah, thank you. We have time for some questions, and I actually want to ask one.
Yes.
Because we often can see also our kids in anger, in frustrated. Like, so how do we react? Like, how do we respond to that? Let me rephrase. And how can we make them aware of that as well?
Yeah. So one thing is what I learned from experience, especially with my own children, is don't say a part of you feels this. That you show with yourself, because a child will think, no, it's me. What are you talking about? Because it's fully identified with whatever he or she experienced with. I mean, some children you could go into that, but with my own children, it doesn't really work. what I feel when you feel your child is just become aware, first of all, about what you're feeling about that. If you're overwhelmed by your child's anger or sadness, then the best thing for you to do is step away from your own triggers, from your own frustrations, or maybe fear that you feel, oh no, it's going to explode again, it's going to be again this. So first of all, just really become aware of your own fears. And then only will you drop into presence in who you are, in the courage, in the love, in the connection. And then you can go to your child and say, I see that you're experiencing this right now. Can I just be there for you? And if you don't want me, I will just be sitting there and just let me know when you need me. So the moment we will become aware of our own triggers, and if you don't have any triggers, that's perfect. Then you will meet already the child with love and connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah, does it exist, people that have no triggers?
Oh, it doesn't. The thing is, like, you know what I noticed by also I rocked it example is that it depends on our moods. It depends on what happened. It depends on all our workload and whatever we put. It depends of, do you meditate now and then? Do you just meditate? I don't mean like just sitting for hours, but just learning what it is like to be aware. How much do you practice? Because my thoughts right now, I can, as if it's a film, I can see them pass by. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes I see my thoughts passing by. And I'm like, hey, I'm just greeting them as old friends. I'm not identified with them. And of course, there are moments that I'm fully identified with them, and that has a lot to do also with hormones and things like that. But yeah, the more we practice, the more we're gonna unlearn that we are not parts, but learn that we are presence. Remember that we are presence, because that's what we are.
Thanks. Anyone have questions?
Do you have this kind of talk for high school kids, please? I'm serious.
Well, the thing is, like, well, yeah.
Yeah. Can we call our kids to? We should play
To this. Well, of course I can have that. It would be highly interesting to have that. And I'm also coaching right now kids. So kids like starting from age 8 to actually 20.
Like, you know, like an introductory conversation.
Yeah.
So that they know what it is that you do or how you do it, if they connect with it.
Yeah.
See, half of the time the child has to want to do it.
Yeah.
Even with adults.
Yeah, and yeah.
So, you know, like an introductory thing where I got to know what you do because of this.
Yeah.
So it's something for high school kids, especially at that age.
Yeah, and it's for every age. Every kid will understand it in a way. Yeah, it's a great idea, and of course. Yeah.
I'm saying high school because my child.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I love your presentation. I mean, I've been here 5 years, and we talk a lot about emotions and triggers and being in present and how that could affect your children and just self-improvement.
Yeah.
But this is actually really the first time that that it's kind of visualized. For me personally, I find it much easier digestible, and there is quite a lot of humor.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, this is actually how I visualize some of the, my feelings that I have. And I definitely think that for children, it's they can be very receptive of how you present it.
Yes. So actually, I drew this book for teenagers.
Okay.
In my mind, this
not
was
for
the
us
book.
parents.
Not for parents. Parents will just. We are all, but we are all. Yeah, but you're right.
But despite the fact that I'm here 5 years, and despite the fact that you are like I don't know how many years a coach, I'm sure that we keep on having, the harder we keep on working, but there are still these
Definitely.
occasional things that we are triggered by, occasional days or weeks.
I have one example of that as well. I will share with you later. Yeah,
We will never be perfect.
we will not.
We will not,
Yeah.
not be able to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyone else has a question? Thank you so much, Masha. That
Yay.
was so nice.
Perfect
so great.
time.
Perfect time.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank everybody that watch online as well. Thank you so much, Masha. Thank everybody for being here today.